Hey everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to jump deep into a very important topic that every e-commerce company needs to solve if they want to streamline their back-end operations so that they can continue to grow their e-commerce business. This is a challenge that if left unsolved will literally stop your business from growing. In fact, it's actually three specific challenges that must be addressed. So what I'll do is I'll break down this tutorial into three separate parts to cover them each in detail. In the first part, I'll discuss what these challenges are, while in the remaining two parts, I'll go over the solutions. So, are you ready to learn how to list, pick, pack, and ship hundreds of items a day in a streamlined and automated fashion? If so, then turn off your cell phones, put everything aside, and give me your undivided attention for the next 30 minutes as we unpack this. Okay, so to go over the challenges, I've basically created a little scenario that will apply to the majority of the e-commerce businesses out there. For the ones it doesn't apply, it will apply in some fashion. So you'll still be able to relate and you'll still be able to see what the challenges are, okay? So we have this e-commerce company, let's give it a name. Let's call it, our usual Acme. All right. So Acme has a supplier or multiple suppliers, more than one. And they send inventory to Acme on a, could be on a weekly basis, multiple times a month, what have you. Now, this inventory, all these products, they come in pallets, right? So this is pallet number 1, pallet number 2, pallet number 3, and so forth, So you've got basically a truckload or half a truckload of pallets coming in every week, and the items are stored in there. Now, you may have multiples of the same product. And the way I've done this is through color coding. So anything that's red is basically the same product. So as you can see, you have red in multiple palettes, red here, red here, red here, and so forth. Same thing with yellow, same thing with orange, and so forth, okay? So your first challenge here is that as you're unpacking your pallets, you want to be able to figure out which items, you've already scanned into your system. Right? So how many of these do you have? Red, how many reds do you have across all your palettes? Right? And you don't want to do this manually. You want a system that lets you do this. Okay? So this is the first challenge. As you unpack these items, you want the same items to get just automatically grouped together. Okay? The other problem, the other challenge is that some of the stuff you may already be selling, right? So this is your warehouse, and as you can see, the red you're already selling. You already have active listings on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, wherever you're selling, right? You already have these items. Some of these you may not be selling at all, right? So you like the yellow, you see you're not selling the yellow one. So you want to create a new listing for these, right? On eBay, Amazon, Walmart, what have you. So your challenge is, as you're going through this, you need to figure out which of these items do I already have, for which all I need to do is just update my locations and update my inventory, right? And which of these items I've never sold before, for which I need to create new listings, right? So those are the two big challenges initially that you have to solve. That you have to solve. Now, a lot of businesses, what I've seen them do is manually do this. So they unpack all the pallets. Then they manually keep the items that are the same in one area, so they group the similar items together. Then they have to go back and check for a specific product. Do we already have this in our system? Let's go check. Then they decide, for this one, we just need to update our quantities. For this ones, we need to create a new listing. So let's put these aside again so that we can have the other guy create new listings for them. A lot of manual work, a lot of wasted labor. No wonder why it takes them such a long time to get stuff listed and to get these things unpacked before the next pallet comes rolling in, all right? Instead, what you want is a system where you just scan the item, and as soon as you scan the item, it tells you, for this item, you already have it in your inventory, it's already published. All we're going to do is update the quantities for you, okay? And it should add up the quantities for you as you're scanning these in. And the second thing is, if it's a new listing, then it should create a new listing for you. If it's something you've never sold before, the system should, keep track of that and tell you, out of the 1,000 items that you scanned today, 300 of them were already in your inventory and we've updated those counts. The remaining were new listings and we will publish them as new listings across all your channels. That's what you want. You don't want to manually do all this, okay? The other thing is when it comes to publishing these new listings, a lot of businesses, e-commerce businesses today that I've spoken to, okay, manually input all this information. So when they publish a new listing, they have to manually type in the title, type in the description, populate all the features, take pictures and upload pictures into the system. Lot of work. If you're a brand owner, then you're sort of stuck because it's your brand, it's your product. You have to come up with that information at least one time. You do, then you should be able to upload it. But if you're not a brand owner, if you're selling existing brands, or if you're getting goods from a supplier, most of the information is already published on the World Wide Web, on the internet. So you should not have to re-input all of that in. Okay, at the very least, you should be able to import that into your system and then update it, right? And then edit that information to fix a few things here and there, maybe come up with a better description and so forth. So you want to be editing product information. You don't want to be entering product information. A big difference, key difference, but one that can save you a ton of time. If you're going with a system that allows you to fetch product information so that you can edit later, versus a system that forces you to put in everything from scratch, you're basically saving a ton of time if you go with the one that has the auto fetch feature. Okay, so when it comes to listing, we have these challenges that I've sort of listed here, right, that we just talked about. So number one is the auto fetch product information. You want a system where when you scan in a product, it goes out and it fetches that product information for you. You just scan in the UPC code on the back of the product, the barcode, whether that's an ASIN number or a UPC number, you scan into that system. The system goes out, searches the internet, and pulls all that information for you. The title, description, and so forth. The other thing is so that's number one. The other thing is you want a system that automatically distinguishes between stuff that's already in your inventory, the existing listings, versus the new listings, stuff that that needs to be published as new listings. All right, that's the second challenge. And the third is you want a system that automatically updates your existing listings, so just increases the inventory count versus publishes new listing on all channels. This is key, on all channels. All right. So for listing, those are the challenges. Now, next, let's look at the challenges for how are you going to store all this stuff in your warehouse, which is your storage challenges. Now, the big thing is, so you've scanned all this stuff in. Now it's time to store this stuff in your warehouse. So how are you going to store this in a way so that, number one, it's easy and organized, okay? And number two, most important, that you can quickly fetch this stuff when orders start coming in. So first thing you have to decide here, and we'll get into the solutions part of it. When we talk about the solutions part of it, we'll get into this. But you need to decide your warehouse layout. Okay, how are you going to lay out your warehouse? So that this can happen. And there's a few different configurations that you can choose from depending upon your business. Again, in the solutions part, we'll go into it. But when it comes to storage, your challenge is figure out how you're organized, how your warehouse will be organized, which layout are you going to go with. That's number one. All right, how it will be organized, the layout. And number two, how will you store your items for easy pick and pack? When those orders start coming in, you want to be able to quickly pick these items. You don't want to run around the warehouse with a chicken like a chicken with its head cut off, right? You don't want to do that. You want to be able to pick these items in a streamlined fashion. And part of that is how are you storing them so that you can do that, all right? So when it comes to storing, those are the challenges. Now the third challenge is when it comes to fulfilling our orders. It's what we call pick and pack. So to explain this challenge, again, we'll go with our fictitious company, Acme. And let's, I can't write. Let's look at the, that's an E, by the way, let me just fix it. Let's look at the scenario for Acme. Okay. All right. So here we have our shipper. Okay. And you may have multiple shippers. In fact, you should probably have multiple shippers if you're doing, at least 100 items a day, right? So you've got your shippers. Their job is to pull orders, so open up some system that has all these orders, to pull these orders. All right. And then for each order, go pick the items, go back to the shipping station, pack and ship them. Okay. So number one, pull. Number two, pick, and number 3, pack and ship. All right, now I'll explain to you a couple of different ways that e-commerce businesses who are not organized and use a streamlined system do it today. Okay, so I'll explain the most inefficient way that actually is also ironically the most common way that most businesses do this. Is they'll go into whatever system they're using for their order management, right? And they'll pull up this order. Okay, so this order, PO number 1, so the customer, the buyer, ordered 2 red and 1 blue. Okay, those are the items. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, I have 2 red, 1 blue. So let me run into my warehouse. Let me grab the red, and then let me go grab the 1 blue. Okay, they'll bring these items back into their shipping station. So for this 1 item, they'll go run all the way here, grab this 3 items. Okay, run back. All right, so run back into their shipping station, pack them up, right? So there's some packing going on, and then they'll ship the item. Okay, so they print 1 shipping label, stick it on the item, and ship it. Now, so when they're putting this 1 shipping label, they're manually entering the product weight, the dimensions, and whatnot. Everything is manual, and they're shipping it out. Okay, this is the most inefficient way. Why? Because for every item, you're going to have to run back to the warehouse and come all the way back to the shipping station for every single order. Okay, so when I'm doing PO number 2, which is 1 blue, I have to go back to that same location, pick my blue item, come back to it, pack it up, go into my shipping software, put in the weight, put in the dimensions, print that 1 single label, stick it on the item, stick it on the box, and ship it out. And I'll continue to do this for every single item. If you have multiple shippers, just imagine what happens here. I mean, all the shippers are basically running into each other as they're going into the same areas to pick the same items, And again, how do they divide this up? Like, who's going to do PO1, who's going to do PO4, and so forth, right? So all of that gets very messy very quickly. Some businesses follow another format which is a little bit more efficient. So what they do is they divide this up. They say, okay, you know what, PO 1 through 10, shipper 1 is going to do, PO 10 to 20, shipper 2 is going to do, and so forth. So at least you've got your orders broken out like that, okay? The other thing they do is that now when you're looking at, if I'm doing POs 1 to 10, right, then I am going to basically go and pick all the items for all 10 orders at the same time. So I'm going to look at the first order. Okay, red, I'm going to have a little rolling cart with me. So, imagine a little cart, with wheels. All right, and I'm the shipper, and I have this cart. Okay, I am terrible at drawing, so please forgive my drawing skills. So I'm going to take this cart, and I'm going to basically go into the warehouse for my first 10 orders. I'm going to pick 2 of red, put it in the cart. Okay, so the red, I have 2 of them. Then I'll put the blue. Then I'll look at PO2. So I'll again go back to my blue location, put that back in the cart. Then orange one. So then I'll walk all the way back here for my orange. Pick the orange, put it in my cart. Red one, all the way back here for my red, put it in my cart. Look at my next PO, green one. Then from red, I'll go all the way here again to pick my green, put it in the cart, and then walk back this way to put my blue. So again, I'm running back and forth in the warehouse, right? Every shipper is doing this. If you have 5 shippers, they're all doing this. They're all running back and forth in the warehouse to fill up their carts with the items. Okay, so as you can see, this is more efficient than number 1 because you're not having to go back to your shipping station for every single order. You're filling up your cart with your 10 orders, okay, while you're in the warehouse, right? But what's inefficient is that you're making multiple trips. You're running back and forth in your warehouse. So when you are doing order number 1, you just pick 2 red, and then when you're doing order number 3, you go back to that location where red is located to pick another red, right? So you're just running back and forth. And if you have multiple shippers, they're running into each other. Okay, it gets messy. If you have multiple shippers, this gets very messy because they're all running into each other, trying to kind of grab the same items and whatnot. Okay, so that's the challenge there. Okay, now you've got your items, you've got this cart filled with all the items for these 10 orders. So you come with this cart, you come back to the your shipping station, Now we have to unpack this, right? You have to go back to PO1 and say, okay, PO1 is made up of 2 red, 1 blue. So let me go into my little cart. Let me pick out 2 reds and 1 blue. Let me package them up together, print my shipping label, and ship it out. So you're still doing one shipping label at a time in this model, and you still have this work to do, where you have to go back into your cart and you have to unpack all the items again for each of the shipping in each of your orders. So you're sort of going through your orders twice. Once you're going through all the orders to pick the items. Once you've picked them, then you're going back through the orders to remove those items, pack them up, and ship them out. Okay. So those are the 2 ways people do it. Now the solution is what I'll present to you, which is the 3rd way of doing it, which is the most efficient. And so I'll go over that in the solutions area. Okay. So quickly, let's go over the challenges for pick and pack. So number 1, what you want to do is you want to organize your warehouse, and you want a process, a streamlined process, so that multiple shippers, okay, can ship at the same time, all right, without running into each other. All right, without running into each other. That's what you want. The second thing that you want is you want an efficient picking process that prevents picking orders one at a time. You don't want to pick orders one at a time, very time consuming, and avoids multiple trips to the same location. All right. So right now with the second workflow, I had to go to red 1, 2 twice. I had to go to blue 1, 2, 3 times to that blue location, right? You don't want that. You want to avoid multiple trips to the same location. Finally, you want a system that lets you bulk print your labels. So you're not shipping labels, printing out labels one at a time. Finally, as a bonus, okay, you want a shipping solution that will give you discounted shipping rates. You can save huge on shipping rates. If you're from retail rates, you can save up to 80% off retail, okay? And if you already are getting discounts on UPS and FedEx, you can save up to 30 to 50% on shipping, okay? That is a lot of money back into your pocket. So when you're looking at shipping solutions, look at one that has relationships with discount providers that they're providing you, okay? And you can save huge on shipping labels if you're doing that. If you're going with a system that provides discounted shipping, so look out for that. Okay, SellerChamp has discounted shipping through some wholesale providers, and we're able to bring these savings to our customers. So we know it's there because we're able to offer that today to our customers. Okay, so that's a bonus. All right. Okay, now that we've looked at all of the challenges, let's recap. Let's go over the challenges one more time so we know what they are. Okay. All right, so our listing challenges: auto fetch product information. You don't want to enter them in from scratch. You want to edit, not enter. Okay. Second, you want to distinguish between your new and existing listings. As you scan an item, the system should tell you already have this. You just need to put in a location for where this is going to go in your warehouse, change your quantity, good to go. Versus you don't have this, you want to create new listings, okay? And a system that will automatically do that for you. It should automatically update your existing listings and publish your new listings on all your channels. For storage solutions, we need to figure out what layout we're going to go with for our warehouse, how it's going to be organized, and then finally what the process is going to be for storing our items so that we can easily pick them when the orders start rolling in. All right. And for pick and pack, our challenges are: we want to enable multiple shippers to pick at the same time without running into each other. And number 2 is you want a picking process that prevents picking one order at a time. And second, it avoids multiple trips to the same location. You want to be able to bulk print your shipping labels, and you want discounted shipping rates. All right. Now that we've looked at the challenges, let's get into the solutions part of it in the second part of this tutorial. Thank you so much.